Hello everyone, Vanguard of Valor here, and welcome back to another episode of Sunless Sea. Before we leave our dock here, we need to quickly grab a couple supplies, and then we'll be able to head out on our merry way, as we have a couple different challenges for us to face today. Grab a couple things here to make this journey a little bit safer, and we should be good to go. We don't want to fill up our hull too much, because we should have plenty of places to replace things as we go. So, welcome back. We have a couple different tasks in store for us today. The first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be heading from here, in Fallen London, down to the Utter Shroom, to see if we can get any kind of reward for sending out a bunch of Blemigans. If not, well, that's fine. But I don't think we're going to pick up any more Blemigans right now. It doesn't... The reward for cashing in Blemigans places doesn't seem to be very big, so unless they're going to give us something, I think we probably won't do a whole lot more Blemigans right now. Maybe later, though. From there, we're going to head across to the Mangrove College, because we've been tasked with getting some information from there. After that, we're going to head north up to Port Cecil, so we can get some Scintillack to make sure that we can help out our good friend, the Genial Magician, and hopefully nothing horrible happens to him. And from there, we might go to the Salt Lions and then back home. But that's the general plan for this route, so we'll see what happens when we get out there. I might also try and go fight a Lornfluke soon. Or two, because we need to kill some of them, but we'll see about that. As of yet, I'm unconvinced that we can handle it safely, so we'll see. Hello, Auroral Megalops. Why, hello there. And goodbye. Probably could have afforded to put the light on for that, but it didn't matter too much anyway in the end. Alright, let's dissect this one for knowledge. Ding! We've gained one fragment. Yay! I always forget how incredibly little you get for those guys since they're so easy to kill. It's fine though. They wouldn't have given us any real supplies either, because the supplies you gain are just for actually having, reducing your current hunger. We had very little current hunger at the time. There we go, there's another one. This one will take the hunger hit for, though, because that'll be quite nice. Butcher it for supplies. We've lost 24 hunger, and people are looking pretty happy there. Alright, let's dock quickly on Mutton Island, where we will, of course, chat with the fishermen and get our port report. There we go. And with that done, let us go and explore the shore. Ah, riddles. It seems like the same kind of riddles that we found up in Wither. Let's see. Let's try this real challenge for 10 echoes and see what we can do. It's a cheap one. We could go for the 100 for the chance to get a live specimen again, if that's what it does every time, but we're going to go for the easy one this time. There we go, we got a strange catch. 20 fragments, and we've gained 1 echo. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Well, that's all well and good. I think one thing we're going to do, actually, though, is speak with our Nacreous Outcast. Because I don't know if we've actually ever spoken to him before. Apparently we have. Because there's no option to speak with him here now. Okay, fair enough. Never mind. Some of these people we've had for so long, I can hardly remember what we have and haven't done. Alright, let's set sail then. Head down to Demo Island, and we'll see what we can find on the way down there. The main points of interest on this trip are the Utter Shroom, the Mangrove College, and Port Cecil, but we'll see what else we can find. There could be a number of other interesting locations on our path here, depending on where we decide we need to go. We may also wind up stopping off at a bunch of other places and seeing what's going on there, too. What's that? There's a big trail. Is it a big crab? It is a big crab. Hello, big crab. The Western Angler Crab. Let's keep the pressure up. We need to kill things so we can get hunting trophies, because hunting trophies will let us talk with the Monks of Godfall to acquire more Z-stories, so we can get the mute result we need to save the Brisk Campaigner. So, let's butcher it for supplies. We gain 1 supply and 1 unprepossessing mass. Okay. Found a curious sack. We slice it open and it has another supply. Alrighty, we'll take it. More Z eggs. In heavily implied air parentheses. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. It's a ways down through the Bonny Reefs, but we should be fine here. I like the shadows and things, though. They're kind of fun. Make the whole place look a little bit more dark and threatening. Alright, let's drop in at Demo Island and see what we can do there. Presumably not a whole lot, but it'll be worth saying hi and getting a little bit of supplies and whatnot. Hard to complain about free food. There we go. The Iron and Misery Company Funging Station. We could accept a volunteer here. We will compile a port report, of course. But while we're here, let's take tea with the Factor. Why not? See how he's feeling. Same kind of conversation as normal, as it seems. Mushrooms are everywhere. But we've gained a supply, lost 2 terror, and gained 10 fragments. That'll do for now. Nothing in the shipyard here. Gotta remember to check that more often. See if there are more mysterious ships to be found. Like the one we found in Venderbite. I'm not sure how we'd get them, but the fact that they even exist is interesting. Alright, down to the other shroom, where hopefully there'll be something interesting waiting for us. It's hard to tell, though, until we get down there. There's no way for us to know if these poor souls will have any kind of interest in rewarding us for spreading their blemigans, or if they just like seeing them around the world. Alright, we'll dock with the other shroom. A gift? Another gift. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, well we have 2 options. We have something for us fell long ago, best elsewhere now, or shroom has something else for us, no more limbs, seed now. Huh. Let's take the first gift. A ray-drenched cinder. The shroomer won't touch it with her bare skin. Wise. Nor should we. It's scorched and twisted the fungus flesh that it lies on. Its cosmogone glow has dyed the air around it. Mother of Mushrooms is grateful, explains the shroomer. You've cast her far. She gives you a jewel. Well, we did get, apparently exactly what we needed, too. We did get a fancy reward here. Cosmogone, light. Okay, well, that's, unless it does something else, that's definitely going to be a gift to our friend the First Curator. Gather some intelligence. Okay, so the other option is gone. I had to pick one. I wonder what the other option was now, though. Makes me wonder. Okay, well, that was awesome. We got something pretty interesting. I don't know if it does anything in other circumstances. Like, is it a battle item? Like the lump of blue Scintillack? I don't know. But for now, we're not going to worry too much about it. We're going to sail across to the Fathom King's hold. We could go down south, but I don't think we're going to this time. We're just going to go straight across this way to the Fathom King's hold in the Swallowing Isles. If we spend too much time down here, we'll risk running into the Blue Prophets again, who evidently we're still not equipped to fight. We're just not quite powerful enough, or tough enough to survive their onslaught. Which makes me question whether we can beat something like a Lornfluke, but we need to try, otherwise it's impossible for us to know. For now, we'll take the shortest path across. Incidentally, I don't remember where the eye is. The giant, colossal eye is somewhere in here, I think. And I do not remember where. I'm fairly certain if you do find it, though, you don't want to stick around and investigate. At least, not yet. Not if you value your life. Looking quiet so far. That's why I have the light on here, because this vast empty expanse here has the potential to be extremely dangerous if we do find the eye. So far it looks though as though we'll be just fine. Yeah, there's just nothing in range here. Just a little bit of darkness we've never explored. Oh well. It was worth a look at least. Back up to the Fathom King's Hold we go. If nothing else, we've cleared up some space on our map. Is this an abyss that I haven't marked off before? It is, the Elephant's Rift. There you go. There's something for our troubles. Alright, let's head up to the Fathom King's Hold now, and no longer have to worry about it. We might trade a Z-Story to get in. I guess it would probably be worthwhile, especially if we can get some fuel from them, but I'm not sure if we really want to, because we kind of need our Z-Stories right now. In the Fathom King's Hold, we'll compile our port report. There we go. We could descend down into the port with a Z-Story, but we still need to accumulate more, so I think it doesn't make sense for us to go down there right now. As much as it might be nice, I don't think it makes much sense. We're just going to keep moving and try and get to the Mangrove College here, where we should be able to at least replenish our supplies very cheaply, if not our fuel. We'll see, though. Khan's Shadow and Khan's Heart are above us, so we always have them as an option if we need to run back and get fuel soon. We can probably make it there with our supplies being so high. Thankfully, though, the sea seems fairly quiet today, so it looks like we'll be able to get where we're going without too much trouble. I'd love to go and fill in those dark spaces, but for now, how it is. Alright, a new star has appeared in the sky. A new constellation has appeared. Let's see what it says. A darkness. 3 of the false stars wink out altogether as suddenly as closed eyes. The pattern that remains is as hopeless and meaningless as cast dice. Somewhere, a Zaylor begins to sob. Only 2 terror, though. It's kind of not bad. Could have been much worse. Could have been much worse. For now, we'll simply sail right on here into the Mangrove College. We're pretty much right on course here to sail right into the port. Look at that. Like a glove. We're docked. Okay. So here, we can gather some supplies if we want. We can unpick the mysteries of other lands. Which, I don't know what it actually does. I think it just converts them into 1 secret. And that's not great. We can meet our contact, though, which is what we came here for. So we're going to quickly compile a port report, and then, which gives us a supply, which is always nice, and we are going to talk to our contact here. An enigmatic gentleman lives a comfortable life in the largest hut. He won't see us without an appointment, but the Admiralty has arranged that appointment. Hey, a free Mutersalt. That's amazing. That is so good, actually. Once inside the hut, we might imagine ourselves back in London. Bright candlelight, thick carpets, a little spotted with damp. Even wallpaper, similarly spotted. 2 philosophers wait on us both, a little sulkily. The enigmatic gentleman will say nothing until we've both eaten dinner. A fine, if eclectic meal. Cavern trout, swamp fruits, spices from Adam's Way and Wither, served on Delft ware at a lacquered Ming table. When we're done, he gives us a carefully listed, itemized list of ship sightings, some excellent port, and a little something to take away. "Remember me to the Admiral," he says fondly. Well, that was great. Strategic information and a Mutersalt. That is a big deal. That is a big deal. It saves us a whole pile of work. That's a 5 Z-Story savings, which is amazing. Okay, with that done, we'll probably go gather some supplies here again. We might as well. We'll have to go buy some food anyway, but If we can gather our supplies for free, that's not bad. It'll be really interesting to see if we're actually reducing the supplies on the beach here. If we get 2 or less, then we know we're actually draining the resources here. Otherwise, it's just a random number. 4 supplies. Okay, so it's random. Okay, that's fine. We gather 4 supplies from the beach. And I think it's time for us to go. We might try and pick up a checkered character, though, if we can. If we get a shady sort, that's not quite as good. But if we get a checkered character, we're going to the isle anyway. Let's see what they want. Who do we get? Hey, perfect. A checkered character. The principals, Port Cecil, black and white and silver. Please, take me there. Sooner, later, it doesn't matter. I know how complex the moves can be. Perfect. Alright, we picked up a checkered character. We can bring them over to Port Cecil. No problem at all. We could go to the Chellinet or King Eater Castle or anywhere here on the right, but I don't think that makes much sense for us right now. Our goal right now is to get to Port Cecil, so we'll probably head to Khan's Shadow and refuel, and then we'll go up from there. So, let's get moving. There's plenty of traveling to do. We got a lot to do today, and we have a very organized idea of what it is. So let's try and get it all done quickly before anything else can go wrong. Okay. So we're going to have to head northwest here to get up to Khan's Shadow. We should be able to sneak in between these islands. We are a little bit low on fuel right now, so I'd rather not waste any time if we can afford to, which is also why we have our lamps off. I don't like sailing with the lamps off, but it saves a lot on fuel, so it'd be foolish to use them all the time when we don't need them. For now, let's just boogie on up here. We should have just enough fuel to get there, I think. Just enough. Oh yeah, I think we'll be fine. We probably could have even had the lights on, and we would have made it no problem. We have less fuel left over, mind you, but we could have made it. Alright, let's dock here in Wanderer's Haven. And refuel, because we were cutting it a little bit close there. Such is the price of traveling the world, though. There we go. Khan's Shadow. Compile a port report. There we go. And in the shops, we're going to buy ourselves a bunch of fuel. It's expensive here, but I mean, they have some, which is the important thing. That is the important thing indeed. So we could sell them our mirror catch boxes. I kind of don't want to. We have a lot of value. Oh, come on now. Payday, go away. We have a couple of important items in our hold that take up a lot of space. Because right now we have a checkered character, 3 empty mirror catch boxes, the Zoop is kind of important, the aquarium, the Shrine to Stone, and the Monstrous Almanac all take up space in our ship, and we kind of can't get rid of any of them. So that's like 8 items in our hold that we just don't get access to, which makes things a little bit trickier. For now, we're just going to sail on, though, I guess. It seems as though the Ray-Drenched Cinder doesn't do anything, but it also doesn't take up cargo space, so I guess I shouldn't complain. Let's just keep moving. We've got plenty of fuel now, so we'll head on to Port Cecil, and maybe stop in at the Isle of Cats on the way. I don't really want to do any smuggling right now, so we probably won't be able to do a whole lot special there, but it'll be worthwhile dropping by at the very least. Let's head over to the Isle of Cats for a brief visit, maybe Visage as well since it's on the way, and then we'll head to Port Cecil. Shouldn't take too long, though. Right back to the Isle of Cats. It makes me wonder what would have happened if I took a different patron. I assume we'd still be smuggling here, but I don't know what we'd be smuggling. And it might not even have been that. It might have been something totally different. It's hard to tell. We'll dock here, though. Dock in Port Cavendish, where we'll compile our port report. There we go. Really, there's not a whole lot else we can do here. We don't have any sunlight to sell them. Nothing in the shipyard here? Nope. Alright, on we go. Off to Visage, then off to Port Cecil. I'd like to try and explore Godfall or the Melting Isles soon. Try and see if I can actually successfully get anything in them. Because I have a feeling there's some interesting stuff hidden away in there. But until we can actually mount a successful expedition, I don't know. Last time we tried, it didn't go too well for us. We'll see. We might do that soon. Fill up on a huge stockpile of candles and max out our crew for as much as we can have with this ship, and then just go and see what happens. Biggest chance of survival that way, I think. Here we are, though, in Visage. We'll create our quick port report, and we might drop in. I don't know if I really want to do the whole event right now. But there's lots of treasures to be had there. So it seems silly to not go. Actually, you know what we'll do? We're going to go. We're not going to do the whole thing. But we're going to go and take a look at a couple quick things. I'm gonna do a bunch of events, but we're not going to read them all. Because we've done this kind of thing before. So this time we're going to check into the customs house. There we go. We're going to become a frog again, I guess. Locust and frog we've done before. We could be a bat. Why not be a bat? They say bat always dies. I don't know if it does. I've never been the bat. We'll try it. Moon moth spreads and folds its wings. Are those part of the moth costume? It looks that way, but one cannot rule out the possibility the moth has real wings. My condolences, it says with polite formality, as it sets the bat mask on our face and ties the worn leather straps around the back of your head. The inside of the mask smells of musk. Well, I don't know if the bat mask does anything, but we're going to try not to die. What we are going to do is go to the Library of Parts, where we've been before, and here we have a couple different options. We could try and steal. We can try and praise the literary traditions of Visage, but I don't think either of those are very bat things. What we're going to do is we're going to look for books about the ritual in the ear. The ritual is listed yearly for dozens, perhaps hundreds of years. Each ritual records which citizen cleared the door for entry and which masks were present in the procession. There are references, oblique but suggestive, that the ritual began long after the ear was built, when the new people came to Visage. But why they came, and what happened to the old people, is not recorded. There is never any record about what was said inside the ear. Interesting. Well, we've learned a little bit more about them. Did we just get kicked out? Huh. Okay, well, I mean, I guess that's something. Okay, if you look into that, it just dumps you back out again. That's fair. Especially since that was all I really wanted to look at. I might have taken some outlandish treasures by collecting the blood of that bull again, but what I really wanted was just that knowledge, so that's interesting. Plus it was a Z story, which worked out very well for us. Let's head up to Port Cecil and hopefully we'll find some eels to fight. Those guys are quite profitable for us. Give our bat some exercise. As of right now, though, this whole place doesn't seem too bad. Yeah, we could go over to Aestival. We could do a bunch of things, but I don't know if it is entirely worth our while right now. For now, we'll make our way over here to Port Cecil, which is our plan. Oh! Oh, good. Somebody... Didn't I get rid of my moves in the Great Game already? They're good. Very good. Were it not for a single envelope sitting face down instead of face up on our desk, we might never have noticed. Well, let's see if we can find the spy. Oh, they took the strategic information. Man! But... Alright. I guess... that kind of negates the whole point of us going to the Mangrove College, so that sucks. Ugh. That's annoying. At least they haven't ever tried to steal our vital information or anything more valuable. All they've stolen is a move in the Great Game, which is very, very cheap, and strategic information, which is annoying, but not the end of the world. Now, do we have any hunting trophies? If we do, we're going to go to Godfall after this and cash in and try and get some more Z stories so we can go to Venderbite and get the Muter Salt that we need to help the Brisk Campaigner again. But for now, let's just try and make sure we don't hit the side. Just very carefully spin around this way. And try not to hit the sides. There we go. There we go. Okay, what's this all about? We will butcher it for supplies and oddities. Hunting trophy, we have 3. Okay, perfect. We also got a Stygian ivory and an unprepossessing mass. A wooden corner shows. Some kind of case or box is encased in the salty jelly. Inside, to find a cask of mushroom wine. We won't tell anyone where we found it, but it should be good for trade. We'll dock here in Port Cecil. We can drop off the checkered character. He waits eagerly by the rail. He lifts his head to inhale. "I can already smell the chess," he announces. Alright, well, we drop him off. "Thank you, farewell." He says neither of these things. He drops a sweaty bundle of banknotes in our hand and hares off up the hill, fingers twitching to begin a game. Game players. Well, 100 echoes isn't bad for nothing. Especially since we were coming here anyway. Let's gather our intelligence of Port Cecil. There we go. Some of the random speaking of these friends. We don't have the Lorn Fluke core that we need to get this whole event finished off. We're so close, but we can't quite do it yet. For now, we'll try and gather some Sphinx Stone and see if we can't acquire any for our hold. Do we have any space? We have some space. Or Scintillack, rather, not Sphinx Stone. Now, we failed the challenge again. Exactly the same message every time. You'd think we'd have a decent shot at this, but we failed it, I think, 3 times in a row here. At least we gained the 1 Scintillack we need. Thankfully, it's only 1, so we don't have to do this multiple times, because that would be a problem. That would be a problem indeed. An Apocyan chess piece. I bet you we get that from finishing this whole story. That might be a good way of getting our Apocyan in without having to give away our lump of blue Scintillack. I wonder if it does anything, though. Well, I guess we'll find out when we eventually get it, if we eventually get it. On the plus side, though, we did what we came here to do. So now we're going to head up to Godfall, and then visit Polythreme, make our way across the Nuncio, Salt Lions, Venderbite to drop off our wards, and down to Fall in London. Probably Guider's Morn on the way, but we'll see how much space we have left on board after we get that far. If we can find another eel or 2 to fight, that wouldn't go amiss either. More things to cash in would be nice. Looks as though that's not in the cards today, though. That's fine. We can cash in our hunting trophies for a selection of stories, and that'll be quite good for us. We still have the wine, which we probably don't need, but that's fine. We can calm them. The burning blue of our lamps is no big threat now. We've come to expect it, even, really. Our crew knows the story that we'll tell, and they're never surprised when we tell it. Let's drop in here at Godfall. There we go. In Godfall, we'll speak to them of blood. Gets us some fragments and some stories, and we can do that a couple times. There we go. Very nice. That should make our Muter Salt acquisition even easier. Let's speak of shouting. Get our port report. There we go. Anything here for us? Nope. No one we can sell to, no one we can buy from. That was weird. I must have double-tapped the E there. Alright, let's head to Polythreme. At least to say hi, and then we'll keep moving. So far, this has been a relatively successful expedition, with only a couple little pitfalls, like the Mangrove College not working out for us. But I have a feeling that Ray-drenched Cinder is quite important, and hopefully will come in quite handy. For now, though, we have nothing really even to sell here. I guess we can sell them our Stygian ivory. We don't think we really need it right now. What else have we got on track here? We could go to Mount Palmerston, if we want. We can get some more fuel there, and buy some Zoop. If we buy Zoop, there's no way we're getting anything at the Salt Lions. And it'll be fairly expensive, because we'll have to buy 6 Zoop at 70 echoes each, which is not the most cash-efficient method of getting our resources. I think that'll put us at about 420 echoes to buy 6 Zoop, if there's 70 each. But it'll get us back, I think, 1,000 echoes, so it's not a terrible return. So I think we'll probably do that. It makes sense. While we're here, we might as well. That'll also let us replenish our fuel. We'll have to pass on the Sphinx Stone again, but the reward is much better for this little venture than it is for anything else. And I can't think of anywhere else we'd be able to get Zoop anytime soon. It's too bad that we sold the Zoop we got recently, though. That would have been a nice bonus. Although, to be fair, we sold the Zoop for exactly the same price we're going to be buying the Zoop. So realistically, we didn't actually change our outcome at all in that respect. We just delayed it slightly. So I guess in that case, it's not actually that bad, really. We haven't really lost anything by selling the Zoop for 70 echoes and buying it back for 70 echoes. We just sort of banked our ability to finish this challenge until a little bit later. Alright, let's stop in at Port Palmerston, then turn around. This episode's getting a little bit long, but we might try and make it all the way back to London if we can. We'll see how long it takes us. I don't think we're going to go that far. We might go at least 1 or 2 more stops, though. Let's get a port report here. There we go. And let's head to the shops here, and we're going to buy ourselves some Zoop and some fuel, because right now we're pretty low on both of those. So, buy some fuel. Unfortunately, we need a lot of Zoop, so we're going to buy 6 more Zoop. That's our whole cargo full. Well, I guess that makes things easy then. Let's keep moving. We're going to have to keep our fuel consumption low, otherwise we're going to be in some real big trouble soon. We could stop in at the Chapel of Lights. I don't think we need to, but it is kind of on the way. The big important goal that we have now is to get to Venderbite and then back to London. Because these are just places to stop in and pick up port reports. Salt Lions, we could have done some stone trading there had we not chosen to take up other resources instead. But Venderbite we need to go to see if they'll take our Ray-Drenched Cinder. And then we'll head down to Fallen London to continue the other stories we came here to do. For now, though, all we can do is sail around and see what happens. I wonder if this is the fastest engine in the game. Because there's that really elaborate one that the tireless mechanic wants to make. And I wonder how powerful that thing is. It's probably really good. The Serpentine seems decent, from what I've seen of it in the description. It has some nice perks associated with it, but it doesn't seem as fast as this one. It might be technically better, but it's definitely not as quick. Let's get back up to the Chapel of Lights then, and we'll see if they have anything quick to say to us. We're not going to stay here for long, though. There we go, we'll dock in the Chapel of Lights. You can give a nightmare to the well. No. No, I don't think so. We can gather some intelligence, though, and that's what we will do. There we go. We don't really want to do anything else here. This is a very strange place. It would be interesting to attend a service at the chapel and see what happens, but I don't really want to burn our supplies like that right now. Because we've never actually attempted that ever. So it could be interesting, but I'd rather not test fate right now. I want to try and make it back with all these things we've just acquired for our own good. I think that's just a regular ship. They're not going to try and attack us. We're heading down to Nuncio, so we'll sail right past them, and that'll give us a good easy way to tell if they're bad or not. Are you going to sail right into that vortex? You are. Wow. We just witnessed somebody with a death wish. That's, Huh. Interesting. Poor souls. I hope they got what they wanted. I've never sailed into one of those whirlpools, just because it seems like a terrible idea, but I wonder what happens if you do. Alright, here in Nuncio, we're going to quickly assemble our port report, and we're going to move on after exploring along the beach a little bit. Actually, no, this just, yeah, let's do it. We'll rescue a squashy parcel. We gained 10 fragments. A funny smell, and little wonder. The string of rats within may once have been fresh, and to certain tastes delectable. It is now rather the worse for decay. Giving the parcel's contents a hasty burial is the best you can hope to do. Just before you dispose of it, though, note the recipient's name and address, a name of some power, worth remembering. Okay, well, we got some fragments there. Anything going on here? Nope. Alright, on we go. On we go. This journey has no end. It will end soon for today, though. I think we're going to stop at the Salt Lions once we get there. It is most of the way to our destination, at least, if not all the way. Our supplies are running a little bit low, but I think there'll be plenty to get us to where we need to be. For now, we'll stop in at the Salt Lions. Nothing awaits us here, so we can't do anything special. No shops or anything either. But we'll compile our port report. How much? We only have like 5 inventory space, don't we? Yeah, 7. We have to throw away literally everything in our hold here if we wanted to take that back, which would not work out very well for us. Oh, I may want to head up to Wither, too. Alright, we're definitely going to end the episode here for now, then. Thank you for watching, everyone. This has been Vanguard of Valor, playing a little bit of Sunless Sea. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments below. We got a lot of stuff to do. We're getting stuff done. But for now, this episode has to end here. Until next time, goodbye.